Welcome back to Moto Monday, everyone. Thank you to everyone who has supported me thus far. Thank you to all the subscribers on YouTube, the followers on all the platforms. I just can't thank you guys enough. So this Moto Monday, I want to talk about something deep, real, a concern for lots of people, and that is veteran suicide. I know that it's a topic that really has been brought to light over the last X amount of years, but I think that it's time to start talking about it again in a much larger fashion. There's, it used to be like the going, you heard everywhere, 22 a day, 22 a day. There's 22 veterans that kill themselves a day. It's horrible. I know more than that have killed themselves since my last deployment. Now, the issue and why I'm bringing it up is that, everyone heard that 22 a day, right? Everyone's heard that. Well, almost everyone, but a lot of people. And I was just reading today that it's now 44 a day. So it went from 22 a day, which is about one every 65 minutes, which is nutty if you think about it. Like, that's just crazy. But now you're cutting that in half. It like doubled. So now we're at, 32.5, right? So every 32 minutes and 5 seconds, or in 30 seconds, someone kills them. Some veteran out there or active duty service member kills themselves, whether it be from PTSD or depression, anxiety, like whatever is causing this. We have to find some way to fix this issue. Like, this is actually a true, kind of pandemic, if you will. Like, that is a lot of people dying every single day from one key demographic. That is a lot of people dying every day from something that I think that, while you're not always going to have the one cure-all fix for PTSD or depression or anxiety, those other issues, or maybe even like fear of some repercussion that they might be facing. I don't know. It's just something I really think that has to be taken more seriously than it has been. And I know that there's lots of great organizations out there. There's lots of good nonprofits out there. But when you have the major, function outside of the military being the VA, that is the one that's supposed to be taking care of us, and it's really not, clearly, like, you can't even argue any way that it, for like in this scenario, that it does. I actually had a buddy of mine who was in the Navy, who called the crisis hotline. I want to say it was like 4 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. And he called the veteran suicide crisis line, and they put him on hold. And then it hung up on him, and then they never called him back. That is disgusting, right? Like, that is absurd. Like, how we can allow that to happen and it go unchecked blows my mind, right? You ask guys and girls, and that's why when people ask me if they should join right now, I tell them, fuck no. To be honest with you, like, it's a whole other video, honestly, but you have to be able to rely on the resources that you're supposed to be able to rely on, right? We can't continue down this path, down this road. Something major has to shift, right? In the structure of the VA, how the government backs it. It needs more funding. It just does. The VA needs more funding. Americans can't afford for we can't afford for our veterans our military service members to get out of the military, become veterans, rely on the VA, and it be filled with people who don't take their job seriously, don't care, are underpaid and are underqualified, it has to stop. 44 a day. Even if it was less than that, like, I'm just telling you, 44 a day. Wouldn't matter if it's 10 a day, a quarter of that. Even if they went down from 22, like, there should be more support out there. And the support that's given, it should be real, right? Like, I don't know how much money's been pumped and dumped into the VA and the crisis hotline and whatever the fuck else, but it's not working. It doesn't fucking work. Excuse my French. I'm sick of it. It's frustrating, man. When I know more people who've committed suicide than I lost in my deployments, that tells you something. You know what I mean? Like, if we're losing more people post-war than we are to the war, you know, that's insane. There's clearly something going on here. And, you know, I know that bringing up problems without, you know, offering, you know, good solutions is not always the greatest thing to do. But sometimes you just have to point out the darkness in the world. Sometimes you just have to call a spade and just be like, look, I just want to bring attention to this. Like, I don't have all the answers. I don't know exactly how we fix it. I know the things I do know are we need more funding for it. There definitely needs to be a higher level of input initially too. Like when guys and girls join the military and they're going through their training processes, there needs to be a focus on their mental stability and how they function through the, you know, apparatuses that we're putting them through, right? And through the conflict that we're putting them through. They need to be better adjusted to handle that, rather than just like train them how to like get in physical shape, be good at fighting a war, send them off, bring them back, and well, fuck it, whatever, you know. You know, the dark side of it is maybe they don't care. Maybe another veteran down is one less they got to pay for in the long haul. Maybe that's the way they look at it, which, you know, honestly, I know it sounds super disgusting, but it also in some ways may not surprise me, you know, because it's been like this for years and we're still dealing with it. You know, I had a surgery that I had to go through the VA for, and, you know, I was a month out. I had to wait an entire month to get a surgery while I had a broken ankle. And so I'm in an air cast for like a month. After like 2 days before my appointment to get my surgery, the VA tells me that my surgeon left the VA to go work in Hollywood because he wanted to make more money The VA didn't pay enough, you know? So he leaves, I get another surgeon, but they're another month out, so I got to wait a whole another month. And then 2 days before, you know, my surgeon comes back, or 2 days before I have my surgery, that other surgeon comes back to the VA. So I'm like, oh, like I just wanted to do some more rewarding work, so I'm back here. And it's like, man, why can't you just pay people a proper salary in the first place so they wouldn't have to be torn like that? You know, like, why are there lines, you know, outside the VA in some places where the guys are waiting for hours? Why am I on hold with the VA for hours? You know, it's you would think that with everything that active duty service members and veterans have given this country, that them being taken care of medically wouldn't be like something that we even have a slight issue with. Like, that should be something that's so locked down, because it's something we've been dealing with for fucking ever. Like, that should be something that's so locked down that it is the number one, you know, medical thing for anyone ever and anyone ever anywhere. Like, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words just because I'm really frustrated. Yeah, so I think that there needs to be more money dumped into finding solid people to work for the VA. And there needs to be a better system in place to take care of guys and girls getting out of the military. There needs to be a better system in place for preparing people to go do what the country needs and being able to come out of it, more stable. Even if it's not, even if you're not still, I mean, you can't go to war and come out and just be totally okay, right? You just can't. Like, you're gonna have issues, but there's got to be some way we can find a program we can put in place that is better than what currently exists. Because 44 people from the military killing themselves every day, every 32 and a half minutes is bananas. It just is. So I don't want to ramble on too much more about this. It's just something I had to say, I had to bring up. It's something I wanted to share because I know that a lot of people, they heard about it. Whether you heard about it back when they were talking about 22 a day, or if you've heard about it recently, if you've actually heard about the 44 a day, it would surprise me. But I feel like there's these causes, and they'll talk about it when we need to talk about it. But this cause never gets brought up, and there's so many other things that we focus on as a nation that are trivial and pointless. And this is not one of those. This should be like priority number one. Like, and I don't know if it's a lack of patriotism. I don't know if it's a lack of knowledge. I don't know if it's a lack of, if we're lacking on the education system side, but something's got to change. There needs to be, a waking up of people when it comes to their understanding of where they live and why they get to live the way that they get to live. And it's because of one group of people. Honestly, I don't care what anyone thinks or says. It's because of one group of people. It's because of veterans and active duty service members. That's it. They're the ones that go out there, sign on that dotted line, put their life on the line, remove all of their freedoms so that you can have all of yours. They go make the ultimate sacrifice so that, we can live the way that we live, And so if anyone should have the best treatment in the world, it's them. They need to get paid better while they're in too, which is like I can't even like the living conditions, especially for me as a Marine, but the living conditions were terrible. You got paid next to nothing. And for what? So you could get out, and if you're really struggling, you can get told to shove it, basically, or, you can have some system that's just really poorly ran, trying to take care of all these veterans that are out there. I don't know. I'm just rambling on at this point. Thanks for letting me vent to you guys, I guess. I hope that if you guys are new to the channel, or if you guys are just seeing this for the first time, I highly recommend you guys go check out any of the awesome nonprofits out there that help guys and girls with PTSD and help veterans that are struggling with stuff. Because they just deserve it, And this isn't me saying anything for me. Like, I don't really care. I care more about the guys and girls to my left and right who are struggling. Man, it sucks. I get a couple phone calls every quarter, honestly, of like, oh, did you hear so and so? Yeah, it sucks. That's too bad, And for me personally, myself, it's like you almost become because it's so often, because there's just it's become something that I've just been able to block out. Honestly, like I become almost numb to it because I just hear about it so often that it's not news to me. It's not surprising to me anymore. It used to be, but now it's just like, well, there goes another one. Like, there goes another dude who I served with, and he's gone now because we can't figure out how to take care of guys and girls that are struggling. We can't figure out how to put them first as a country, you know. Like, and you wonder. You also, it's funny too. This kind of relates to one of my other videos talking about recruitment in the military. You know, it's not an all-time low really right now. You know, almost every branch isn't making their numbers, and it'll be probably even more abysmal next year for FY 2023. They had to cut like, I think 10,000 off the Army's recruitment just so they could maybe make numbers next year. Excuse me. That is terrible. But just look around, man. When people see the military, first of all, our whole society is backwards. But you know, when they see the news like this, like, oh, 44 veterans or service members killing themselves a day, like, why the fuck would they want to go join that? And I can't blame them. I wouldn't blame them. Like, who would want to go put themselves through something that is going to potentially make them want to kill themselves? You know, like, I don't know, man. Thanks for tuning in. I know that this Moto Monday wasn't exactly the most positive of energies, and I know that it's kind of dark, but it is something that does need to get talked about. It is something that needs to be brought more to light, because we just got to find a way to talk about it and minimize it as best we can. So thanks for tuning in. As always, stay loose, battle on, and if you bitch in your heart, it'll show.